Charlie Gasparino is looking at all these latest cross currents and what Wall Street might be looking at. Charlie.
And I am. Just to make a point on what Hillary just said about James Claiborne and Biden. From what I understand, the Biden campaign does have an ad cut to run with Claiborne endorsing Biden as soon as that endorsement is made official. So watch for it tomorrow, and they hope that will increase black voter turnout and easily give him the South Carolina primary this weekend. But getting back to Bernie Sanders, listen, this sell-off, I've been speaking with a lot of investors, a lot of people that are running the major brokerage firms. Are investors really worried about the coronavirus right now? Is that why they're selling, or are they worried about Bernie Sanders, a socialist, getting in there? Everybody is saying that the main worry is the coronavirus. That's the sale. That's the selling point, and its impact potentially on GDP going forward if it keeps going on. Supply chains are disrupted. That said, as Bernie Sanders racks up victories, every brokerage firm, every major Wall Street firm that deals with an investor is preparing for talking points. And some of the talking points I understand goes like this. And they're preparing for this because, let's face it, Bernie Sanders is not, if he gets elected, and a big if, he is bad for investors. You know, Medicare for all, forgiveness of all student loans, massive spending that doesn't add up. That all leads to higher interest rates and bad stock and lower stock prices if enacted. So here's what they're saying. Number one, they're saying, listen, don't freak out and sell everything. Gridlock will likely follow. Bernie Sanders is not a favorite of Republicans, obviously. He's not a favorite of Democrats. For him to get this through, a lot of these measures through, he's going to have to essentially convince Congress. And maybe they're downplaying it. Maybe they're being Pollyannish about it. But they're saying that most of Bernie Sanders' agenda, at least that's what they're prepared to say, if and when the freak out comes. And it's interesting, the freak out hasn't come yet, from what I understand. They're planning for it. We should point out that J.P. Morgan has an investor day today. They are preparing for some Bernie Sanders questions, but most of the questions, obviously, will be about the coronavirus and its impact on GDP. So they are planning for it. Let's see what happens in South Carolina. If he wins South Carolina, if he beats the favorite down there, Joe Biden, let's see if the markets are reacting. I will say this. There's an urban legend out there that the markets are reacting because of Bernie Sanders. I'm not saying there's no background fear about Bernie Sanders, but the main thing right now, just so you know, from the Wall Street firms, is the coronavirus, though they are all preparing for the possibility that this guy's the nominee. And if he's the nominee, there is a chance, more than theoretical, that he could be president, and what happens next. So Wall Street is preparing for a socialist takeover of the White House.